the Battle Cats is a game with lots of abilities and such. Both cats and enemies have abilities, such as Survive, Strengthen, Slow, Knockback, Weaken, and lots more. But one of these abilities stands up above the rest, the Critical Hit. And to go with critical hits, we have Metal Enemies. Metal is a trait that is introduced in Stories of Legends, and has some kind of weird mechanics. Some people may not like metals, and some people may. Let's take a dive into our not very new Metal Enemies. Metal enemies seem to have been added in version 2.0, with Stories of Legends housing one in A New Legend's second stage, Return of Terror, and Into the Future with one in Greece. Metal enemies have a special gimmick where all damage only does 1 damage to it, but they are extremely weak to criticals. Only a few metal enemies can be feasibly chipped down without critters, being Metal Hippo, Metal Doge, Hater Ba 2.0, and Croconators. Pretty much all basic metals can be killed with 1 critical, being the aforementioned ones, Metal One Horn, Teacher Cyber, Cyberface, and I believe Coronium. The ones needing more than 1 are Super Metal Hippo, Sir Metal Seal, and Metal Cyclone. I won't talk about any other metals though. Sorry, Pure Gold Arost fans. Now, for some units with the critical hit ability, we have Catasaurus, Space Cat, Aku Researcher, Monaco, and like literally all the Nanekos, Marauder, Verbena, Hayabusa, and Nanaho. Marauder is probably known as one of the best critical hitters if you get him, and Catasaurus is the same for early game players. But that's not all metals get affected by, as metal is still a trait. It has all the basic abilities, and yes, that includes massive damage and strong. But there is one ability that's special that not too many units have, which is Metal Killer. Metal Killer is an ability where once your units attack, it takes off a set percentage of health. At least that's what Marihizi says. I thought it was 12% or something? Well, whatever. There's like 3 units that have Metal Killer though, so I don't really need to talk about it. Now, time to talk about why people may not like metal enemies. Metal enemies require you to bring a critter, except for like the 4 that don't. This may not seem that bad, but then you realize, if metal enemies come late in a stage with many other traits, it can be difficult to sneak in a critter into your lineup depending on your strategy. Another reason is RNG, and it isn't the good kind, like gambling. It's evil RNG. There are very few cats with guaranteed critical, with the ones I have being $100 million Cat, and Mercenary Leader Felix. Remember Marauder Cat from earlier? Let's talk about him now. He's classified as a good critical chance at 50%, which kinda says we'll really take anything. If you don't have a guaranteed critter, you'll have to rely on RNG to win a stage. If you just get really unlucky, you may have to play the same stage over and over again just to get a few criticals in on one enemy. One issue is that early game players may not know this, as the info is hidden in enemy descriptions. For someone new playing Super Metal Hippo, it may take them forever to beat it, as they don't know they need a critter. I'm speaking from experience here, because me and a friend both did that. Before the next part, may as well talk about the titanium fruit before I forget to. The titanium fruit is basically just like every other fruit, and it enhances effects for units that have metal targeting. Really nothing much to talk about here, other than that the design is funny. Metal pineapple. Eat if you dare. Also, apparently it's in Cats of the Cosmos and not Into the Future? I thought it was in Into the Future. I think I'm stupid. Well, I guess we should get into some good stuff now. Metal enemies are still easily counterable, like in mid-game, with Cyclone units and some other Advent units being metal counters. Poop Cat and Cat Tornado are some of the standouts here, as the metal freezing is amazing and Cat Tornado has an insane attack rate, letting him get some easy crits. Also, they're non-gacha units, which means no gambling, which can be viewed as a positive or a negative. Catasaurus can also be good too, as Talents boost his critical chance by a lot. Don't even get me started on Ubers. Verbena has a multi-hit and a 25% chance to crit in true form. Hayabusa is more of a rusher with a high speed and a great area attack with a 30% chance to crit. Then there's Marauder. I already talked about Marauder. There's even more critical hitting units, but some of them are Lugas. But what if we go beyond Uber Rares? That's when you get Kyosaka Nanaho. Nanaho has not only critical hits, but also an anti-metal ability. She has a 50% chance to hit a critical hit on her second hit specifically, and she's insanely tough against metals, which is a 6 times resist, but that's without fruits. With fruits is a 7 times resist, and that means that she has 357,000 effective health against metals at just purely level 30. She also has a bunch of random abilities, but they don't work against metals. Obviously, Nanaho is hard to get, as you know, Legend Rare, 0.3% chance. But if you get her, she's an effective metal killer. No, not the ability. Oh, and you can't forget my boy Modern Cat. And as an owner of 3 crit Ubers, I can say they are easy to kill. Well, that's really all I have on metals for now. Overall, I really don't care about medals, I don't mind them. They're easier for me, but I can see why some people may dislike them. But overall, the decision is up to you. Do you hate medals? Do you love them? Do you want to learn to love them? I know I just gave some of you more flashbacks. Ramble in the comments about what you think. I actually want to hear what you say. Before I go, I want to thank Lucas the Fourth for the decision is up to you joke, and this due to my comments on the Infernal Tower video. This has gotta be one of the greatest first take comments ever. Made me laugh internally. I even hearted his comment. Check the video, trust me. Well, that's all for today. You should like, subscribe, and do whatever else you want. Also, 200 subscribers. Well, off I go, I suppose. I will need to gamble for a second Dark Canyon.